Greetings and welcome back to this edition of Chaplains Chat. I'm Chaplain Charlie Wharton with the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office.
And I'm Chaplain Larry Crabtree with the St. Mary's County Sheriff's Office and the Maryland State Police.
In this series of our Chaplains Chats, we are talking about peer support and many of the things that are coming down into law enforcement now are centered around the ability for agencies to really take care of their own. And Larry, a lot of times when we talk about things like this, the emphasis is on the ability to be able to say the right things or to be able to have the right words. But isn't it more the ability to be able to listen? Is that what we're talking about?
What did you say? It's the importance of listening is what we're talking about. Charlie, you're making an excellent point because a lot of people might shy away from being that kind of a peer support help to their agency because they think they don't have all the right answers, that I haven't had the right schooling, or what if they come with me with some situation or problem that I don't have the foggiest idea on how to address or walk them through. Well, that's not really what a peer support program's about. It is to do with listening and listening well. So let's talk a little bit more about that. What do we mean when we talk about being a good listener?
I think the first thing that we have to do to be a good listener is to be interested in people. Because if we're not interested in people, we're going to be out there somewhere else, just not focused on what they need. And that's what's important in a peer support program. It's what somebody else needs. That's the foundation.
Yeah, and so it means you just have a heart for people. You have a heart for your coworkers. You care about what they're going through, and that's really important. So to be a good listener certainly means I have interest in you and what's going on in your life, and I'm willing to learn more about that and enter into that with you.
Just a minute ago, you threw me a curveball, and in kind of a way we were joking about being disinterested. But I think an important part about this is being focused. When you hear the word focused in an interaction, what does that mean to you?
Well, being focused, I think we're going to get into some marriage counseling now because this is the problem often with husbands and wives. You know, somebody's talking to you, but you're reading the newspaper, you're watching the TV, your mind's off somewhere else. But to be focused means you care about that person right now, what they're saying, what they're going through. And not only are you hearing it, but you're able to assure them that you understand. In other words, that you're recognizing what it is that they're saying. And so good listening isn't just sitting there quietly, it also is asking questions so that you can better understand and they also know they're being heard.
A couple of key words to that are paraphrase and reinforcement. Law enforcement as a profession is notoriously bad about trying to do a lot of things at one time. You know, you're listening to the police radio, you're listening to Daryl Singletary on the country station. You're drinking your coffee, you're trying to make a turn, you're turning on the lights. We pride ourselves on the ability to multitask, but when it comes to peer support, we've got to be focused.
That is absolutely critical. And again, it's because you care for people, you care about them, and therefore you're willing to enter in and really understand what they're saying. Being a good listener. Focused.
And one of the things, we've talked about this earlier, we talked about it in the introduction, and I think this is something that you're going to hear throughout this peer support program, is confidentiality. You've got to be able to listen and keep it in here.
That's right. Again, anybody that's going to utilize, take advantage of any kind of peer support program, they're going to mainly be concerned about, if I become vulnerable to you, will you protect that information? Will you keep that to yourself? Can I trust you with what I'm going to share? And of course, we need to emphasize that needs to be the case unless you're going to communicate something that will hurt yourself, will hurt someone else, or you're going to disclose that you're involved in some type of a crime. Police officers pretty much know that shouldn't happen. But outside of that, those are issues that we need to keep to ourselves. They're not gossip items that get shared anywhere else. When you speak to that person, it stays with them.
As this goes forward, you're going to get the opportunity to learn more about peer support, You're going to have the opportunity to maybe apply for a spot on a peer support team. What we want to encourage you is that you don't have to have all the answers, but what you have to have is a listening, caring heart, and that's what's going to make the difference for the program being successful or being another program in a long list of ones that are in the boneyard somewhere.
That's right. So I think this is something that people are really, some people are really gifted at this. They have just that capacity within them to be able to listen well and to care and to clarify and just to build confidence in doing that. Because people often aren't looking for answers. They're looking to be heard.
Oh, that is so important. Absolutely. A lot of us don't want advice. We just want somebody to listen to us.
That's right.
That's going to do it for this edition of Chaplains Chat. But we want to remind you, as you go out into the world, be strong
and be safe.